Ever walked past a Rolex store, glanced at the window, and seen nothing? Just empty display stands? You're not alone. It's a common sight worldwide, and it leaves many of us wondering, why is it so hard to buy a brand new Rolex? Are they just not making enough watches? Well, the story is a bit more complicated, and honestly, way more interesting than a simple supply and demand issue. Today, we're diving deep into the mystique of Rolex, uncovering the real reasons why these coveted timepieces are always sold out. First, let's get one thing straight. Rolex is a master of its own universe. Unlike publicly traded companies that have to answer to shareholders every quarter, Rolex is owned by a private foundation, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. This gives them incredible freedom. They don't need to chase short-term profits or ramp up production just because demand is high. Their goal is long-term brand preservation and value, so while they could probably make more watches, they choose not to. It's a deliberate strategy to maintain exclusivity. Now, let's talk about production. Rolex is notoriously secretive about its numbers, but industry experts estimate they produce around 1 million watches per year. That might sound like a lot, but when you consider the global demand, it's a drop in the ocean. Each Rolex is a miniature marvel of engineering and craftsmanship. We're talking about their own in-house foundry, where they create unique gold alloys like Everose gold. We're talking about assembling movements with hundreds of tiny, perfect parts, a process that is still heavily reliant on skilled human hands. Think about the iconic Submariner or the Daytona. These watches aren't just stamped out by machines. The bezels, the dials, the bracelets, everything is finished to an incredibly high standard. This level of quality control and hand finishing takes time, a lot of time. Rushing this process would mean compromising on the very thing that makes a Rolex, its legendary quality and reliability. So, the production limit isn't just an artificial cap, it's a genuine consequence of their commitment to excellence. But quality and limited production are only part of the story. The other massive piece of the puzzle is the explosive growth in demand. Over the past decade, and especially in recent years, the appetite for luxury watches has skyrocketed. A whole new generation of buyers has entered the market, fueled by social media, a booming interest in alternative assets, and the simple desire to own something timeless and iconic. Platforms like Instagram have turned watches from a niche hobby into a mainstream status symbol. Influencers, celebrities, and athletes are constantly seen sporting their Daytonas and Datejusts. This constant exposure creates a powerful sense of desire. A Rolex isn't just a tool to tell time anymore. It's a statement, a symbol of success, an heirloom, and for many, a smart investment. And that brings us to the secondary market. The fact that many Rolex models sell for double or even triple their retail price on the pre-owned market is a huge driver of the scarcity at authorized dealers. This price difference creates a massive incentive for people to buy from a dealer, not just to wear the watch, but to flip it for a quick and substantial profit. This phenomenon has created an entirely new class of buyer, one that's not necessarily a watch enthusiast, but an investor. This puts authorized dealers, or ADs, in a really tough spot. They are the gatekeepers. They get a limited allocation of watches from Rolex and have to decide who gets to buy them. If they sell a hot model to a stranger, there's a high chance that watch will end up on the gray market the next day. This is bad for the brand's image and bad for genuine customers. So, how do they decide? They build relationships. ADs prioritize loyal customers, people who have a history of buying other, perhaps less popular, watches or jewelry from their store. They want to sell to people who will actually wear and appreciate the watch, not just flip it. This creates the infamous waiting list, which in many cases isn't a list at all. It's more of an informal system where the sales associates have a mental roster of their best clients and what they're looking for. If you walk into a Rolex AD for the first time and ask for a steel Daytona, you'll likely be met with a polite smile and a gentle letdown. It's not personal, it's the reality of the system. You need to build a purchase history. This strategy, while frustrating for new buyers, ensures that the watches go to established clients, strengthening the relationship between the customer and the dealer. It's a game, and to get the prize, you have to play by the rules. Let's also consider the global economic landscape. In times of uncertainty, people flock to tangible assets with a history of holding their value. Gold, art, and yes, Rolex watches. A steel Rolex sports model has proven to be a better investment than many traditional stocks over the past few years. This perception of a Rolex as a safe haven asset further fuels demand, especially from wealthy individuals looking to park their cash in something they can also enjoy. So, you have Rolex, a private foundation, deliberately limiting production to maintain quality and exclusivity. You have a massive, unprecedented surge in global demand fueled by social media and a new generation of buyers. You have a red-hot secondary market that makes flipping watches incredibly profitable, and you have an authorized dealer network trying to reward loyal customers while fending off flippers. When you put all these factors together, you get the perfect storm. You get empty display cases. It's not a single conspiracy. It's a complex ecosystem of controlled supply, insane demand, human psychology, and market dynamics. Rolex has created a product that is so desirable, so well made, and so iconic that the world simply can't get enough of it. So, the next time you see an empty Rolex display, don't think they're going out of business. It's quite the opposite. That emptiness is the most powerful marketing tool they have. It's a silent testament to their success, a symbol of ultimate desirability. It is a strategy that has kept Rolex at the absolute pinnacle of the luxury world for decades, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. It's the paradox of Rolex. The harder they are to get, the more people want them. And that, in a nutshell, is why Rolex is always sold out. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look into the world of luxury watches, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you in the next one.